Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is a big day. Why? We're about to finish Brighton Beach Memoirs. This is assignment number 10. We are going to be reading pages 121 to 130. Yeah, we've got a lot to talk about, actually, as far as the completion of this. Are all the conflicts going to be resolved, right? Are we going to have a happy resolution? Think about what our conflicts are. It appears that it's been resolved with Nora. She knows she's not going to be able to go try out for her play. Mom decided no. It looks like she's finally gotten over it. And what allowed her to get over it? Having that fight with Mom, and then Mom having that fight with Kate, where Mom said she's going to leave the house, which is actually kind of a good thing for them because it means Dad won't have to work as hard because she'll pick up that money. He won't even have to have a night job. And think about how important that is because he just had the heart attack, although we did hear he's on the mend. He's getting better. But, working 2 jobs is what did it to him. So now he won't have to do that anymore. And she's going to move out, right, and take them out of the house, which is probably a good thing, considering Eugene and his problems. We know those. Think about Stanley's problem. Now, remember, he left because he lost the money, and it looks like he was going to join the army, which would have been probably pretty bad for the family. Maybe he would have been able to send money home, but he can get money and still be home and help the family out. So remember, at the end of our last assignment, he did show up, so he's coming back. I'm thinking that's it. Lori, they're now going to not baby her anymore because of her fluttering heartbeat. The sisters are happy again together, even though they're separating a touch bit. So let's see how this finishes up. I think it's going to be okay. All right, top of page 121, Eugene. Gee, I thought you'd be halfway to training camp by now. But I'm real glad you're home, Stan. They stand there looking at each other for a moment as Kate walks out of the kitchen to the yard. Kate, Eugene, I need a pint of sweet cream. And some more sugar. Eugene, Stanley's home. Stanley, hello, Mom. Kate looks at him, then to Eugene. Get a 2-pound bag. I want to bake a chocolate cake. Eugene, a 2-pound bag from Greenblatt's? I'll need identification. He looks at Stanley, then goes. Kate to Stanley, are you staying for dinner? Stanley, I'm staying as long as you'll let me stay. Kate, why wouldn't I let you stay? This is your home. Kate walks into the house. Stanley follows. Jack comes down the stairs and goes over to his favorite chair. He opens up his paper. Your father's been very worried. I think he wants some sort of explanation. Stanley is just about to do that. Kate looks at him, wants to reach out to touch him, but can't seem to do it. She goes back into the kitchen as Stanley walks into the living room. Hi, Pop. How you feeling? Jack doesn't turn. He keeps reading his newspaper. Sorry about not coming home last night. I know it was wrong. I just didn't know how to tell you about the money. I know it doesn't help to say I'll never do it again because I won't. I swear, never. He takes money out of his pocket. I've got $3. Last night I went over to Dominic's bowling alley and I set pins till midnight, and I could make another 6 on the weekend, so that makes 9. I'll get the $17 back, Pop. I promise. I'm not afraid of hard work. That's the one thing you taught me. Hard work and principles. That's the code I'm going to live by for the rest of my life. So if you have anything you want to say to me, I'd be very glad to listen. All right, I just want to point something out. He went and set bowling pins. Think about being at the bowling alley. You throw your bowling ball, the pins get knocked over, and then that machine comes down, pushes some away, and lifts up the other ones and sets them up. There used to be guys who would hang out way down in there and they'd crouch and they would run up and they would set the pins and make sure they were all balanced and not get hit by stuff if they were lucky. Crazy job. Hold on, let me turn off my phone. Let's go. He stands there and waits. Jack, still looking at the paper. Did you read the paper tonight, Stanley? Stanley. No, Pop. Jack, there's going to be a war. A terrible war, Stanley. All right, remember what time it is when we talked about in the beginning of the play, the fact that this is 1937, right? It's right before World War II, which is already kind of starting around Europe. Hitler's already starting to take over different countries in Europe. And Jack is foreshadowing the fact that they're all going to get into this. And possibly and probably his 2 sons are going to get pulled off to this war. That's a different story. That's a whole different play. But I guess what he's saying by focusing on the war again, because he's done this at different points in this play, is that their problems, it makes their problems smaller, but it also shows that their problems really are being solved, which is a good resolution to the end of our play. Let's continue. Stanley, I know, Pop. He moves into the room, faces his father. Jack, the biggest war the world has ever seen, and it frightens me. We're still not over the last one yet, and already they're starting another one. Yeah, when did World War I end? I want to say, and I'm no historian, it was somewhere around 1917, 1918, somewhere around then. I think it was like 1913 to 1917. That's my guess. I have no idea. And I don't want to Google it because I want this to finish. I don't want to keep you guys here all day and gals. But think about that. It's been about 20 years since World War I ended, and already they're going into another one. This is big and scary for the people at the time. Jack. I'm sorry, Stanley. We don't know about it much, and we don't talk about it much in the store because of Mr. Stroheim being German and all. Jack, my brother Michael was killed in the last war. I've told you that. Stanley, he showed me his picture in uniform. Jack, he was 19 years old. The day he left, he didn't look any older than Eugene. He was killed the second week he was overseas. Stanley, I know. Jack, they didn't take me because I was 16 years old. Both parents were dead, and I lived with my Aunt Rose and Uncle Maury. They had 2 sons in the Navy, both of them wounded, both of them decorated. Uncle Leon and Uncle Paul, right, Dad? Jack nods. My brother would have been 40 years old this month. He was a handsome boy. Good athlete, good dancer, good everything. I idolized him, like Eugene idolizes you. No, he doesn't. He does, believe me. I hear him outside talking to his friends. My brother this, my brother that. Brothers could talk to each other the way fathers and sons never do. OMG. That's true. I never knew a thing about girls until my brother taught me. Isn't it like that with you and Eugene? Yeah, I tell him a few things. That's good. I'm glad you're so close. I missed all that when Michael went away. That's why I'm glad you didn't do anything foolish last night. I was afraid maybe you'd run away. I hear you talking with Eugene sometimes about the army. That day will come soon enough, I'm afraid. I did think about it. It was on my mind. Don't you know, Stanley? There's nothing you could ever do that was so terrible I couldn't forgive you. I know why you gambled. I know how terrible you feel. It was foolish. You know that already. I've lost money gambling in my time. I know what it's like. You did? You're so surprised. You think your father's a perfect human being? Someday I'll tell you some other things I did that wasn't so perfect. Not even your mother knows. If you grow up thinking I was perfect, you'll hate yourself for every mistake you ever make. Don't be so hard on yourself. That's what you've got a mother and father to do. Stanley, you're not hard on me. You're always fair. Jack, I try to be. You're a good son, Stanley. You don't even realize that. We have men in our cutting room who haven't spoken to their sons in 5, 6 years. Boys who have no respect for anyone, including themselves. Who haven't worked a day in their lives, or who have brought their parents a single day's pleasure. Thank God I could never say that about you, Stanley. Stanley, I gambled away $17, and you're telling me how terrific I am? Hey, wait a minute. Don't get the wrong idea. If you were home last night when your mother told me, I would have thrown you and your clothes out the window. Today I'm calmer. Today I read the newspaper. Today I'm afraid for all of us. Stanley, I understand. Jack, after dinner tonight, you apologize to your mother and you give her the $3. I will. And apologize to your Aunt Blanche because she was worried about you too. I will. And you can thank your brother as well. He came into my bedroom this afternoon and told me how badly you felt. He was almost in tears himself. The way he pleaded your case, I thought I had Clarence Darrow in the room. All right, I have no idea who Clarence Darrow is, but either an actor at the time or a lawyer, like a famous lawyer, possibly a famous actor lawyer at the time. Stanley, Eugene's a terrific kid. All right, go wash up and get ready for dinner. And tonight, you and I are going to go out into the backyard, and I'm going to teach you how to play poker. Stanley smiles. Terrific. He turns to go, and Kate comes out of the kitchen. Kate, is Eugene back yet? Stanley, no, Mom. Kate, you look tired. Did you get any sleep? Stanley, I got enough. I slept at a friend's house. Can I talk to you after dinner, Mom? Where am I going? To a nightclub? Stanley, I'll wash up and be right down. He turns and starts up the stairs. Kate, Stanley, you didn't join anything, did you? No, Mom. You've got time yet. The family's growing up fast enough. See, there's so much foreshadowing for this war. It's scary. I mean, because it's not fiction in regards to time, we know that the war is coming, World War II, and it was awful. And I am almost guaranteeing that both of these guys would have been drafted into the war if they didn't just join up. I'm getting the feeling that the older boy would join up when it got so bad. And I bet you, I don't know about Eugene. He might as well. Listen, Stanley, no, Mom. You've got time yet. The family's growing up fast enough. Stanley, yes, Mom. He turns and rushes up the stairs. Kate turns and looks at Jack. Jack, it's all right. Everything is all right. Kate, who said it wasn't? Didn't I say he'd be home? She calls up. Lori, call your sister. Time to set the table. Eugene comes running to the house with a small bag and some letters. Eugene, out of breath. I just broke the world record to Greenblatt's. Next year, I'm entering the grocery store Olympics. Here's some. Kate, is that my sweet cream? Eugene, never spilled a drop. The perfect run. She takes the bag and goes into the kitchen. Where's Stanley? Jack takes the mail. He's cleaning up. He looks at the mail. Oh my God, I've got jury duty next week. He sits and opens up a letter. Eugene rushes up the stairs and runs into his room. Stanley is taking off his 2 sweaters. Eugene, closing the door. Are you back in the family? Stanley, yeah, everything's great. Terrific. You want to take a walk on the boardwalk tonight? See what's doing? I can't tonight. I'm busy. Doing what? I'm playing poker. Poker? Are you serious? Yeah, right after dinner. I don't believe you. I swear to God, I got a poker game tonight. You're crazy. You're genuinely crazy, Stanley. If you lose, I'm not sticking up for you this time. Stanley, if you don't tell anybody, I'll give you a present. What kind of present? Are you going to tell? No. What's my present? Stanley takes something wrapped in a piece of paper out of his jacket and hands it to Eugene. Stanley, here, it's for you. Don't leave it lying around the room. Eugene starts to open it. It's postcard size. Eugene, what is it? Stanley, open it slowly. Eugene does. Slower than that. Close your eyes. Eugene does. It is unwrapped. Now look. Eugene looks. His eyes almost pop out. Oh my God, she's naked. You can see everything. Stanley, lower your voice. You want to get caught with a thing like that? Eugene, where did you get it? Who is she? Stanley, she's French. That's how all the women are in Paris. Eugene, I can't believe I'm looking at this. You mean some girl actually posed for this? She just laid there and let some guy take a picture? Blanche comes out of the kitchen. Blanche, Lori, Nora, time for dinner. The girls come out of their room. Stanley, it belongs to the guy who owes me $2.50. I can keep it until he pays me back. Eugene, don't take the money. Let him keep it for a while. He lies back on his bed, staring at the picture. Nora and Lori go down the stairs as Kate comes out of the kitchen with plates and starts to set the table. Stanley, that's my appreciation for being a good buddy. Eugene, anytime you need a favor, just let me know. All right, now I just want to point out, he wants you, think about the play. He wants you at this point to be laughing again. He's had it so that you've laughed, you've gotten nervous again for the family, you laughed some more, you got nervous, you laughed, and nervous. And right now, think about all that talk about the war and how actually now it's gone to pretty much the parents are scared that their son almost joined this army and got into the war early, scared that the family was breaking apart, scared that the sister was leaving, scared that, there's no jobs, everything. Now they're finishing with some humor. It's a good way to finish the play in that regard with a good feeling. Stanley, put it in a safe spot. Come on, it's dinner. Eugene, in a minute. I'll be down in a minute. He lies there, eyes transfixed. Stanley starts down the stairs. Nora and Lori set out napkins and utensils. Blanche starts to arrange the chairs. Jack, with a letter in his hand, gets up, looking excited, walks into the dining room. Kate, where's Kate? Kate, don't run. You're always running. Jack holds up the letter. It's a letter from London. My cousin Shalom got out. They got out of Poland. They're free, Kate. Blanche, thank God. Jack, his wife, his mother, all 4 children, they're sailing for New York tomorrow. They'll be here in a week. Kate, in a week? Lori, do they speak English? Jack, I don't think so. A few words, maybe. To Kate, they had to sell everything. They took only what they could carry. Think about it. Just listen to how many people that is. His wife, his mother, 4 children. So that's 6 people and him. So 7 people are on their way. Now, do they have room for 7 people in this house? Actually, I guess they will, because in a minute, Lori, in a week or two, whenever she gets her, it'll be longer than that because she's got to get the job and then find the apartment and whatnot. But eventually, so imagine that, 7 people. You would think that they would be upset, right? Oh my God, we don't have room, we don't have money. But look at them as that, because again, it's all about family. It's also a big deal that they got free of Europe. Remember, they're Jewish people, so to have gotten free of Hitler and gotten to America is just hugely important. But the fact that they're going to take them in and be happy about it just shows you, it's very indicative of what a wonderful family they are and why and how they're able to stay together and keep each other happy, healthy. Let's go. I don't think so. A few words, maybe, to Kate. They had to sell everything. They took only what they could carry. Stanley, where will they stay? Jack, well, we'll have to discuss it with the family. Some with Uncle Leon, Uncle Paul. Kate, with us. We could put some beds in the dining room. It's easier to eat in the kitchen anyway. See, that's so funny. That it's just, we don't need a dining room, right? We'll just eat in the kitchen. Now, they like the dining room. That's where they eat most of their dinners. They have their big dinners. But no, she's willing like that to give it up for more family. And think about this family. They lost everything. They lost their whole home and all their money. And they're coming with nothing. So for them to do that for them is pretty amazing. Blanche, the little ones can stay with Lori. Nora can sleep with me. Can't you, dear? Oh, wait a minute. Stop. Did you hear what Blanche just said? The little ones can stay with Lori. Nora can sleep with me. Can't you, dear? Nora, pleased. Of course, Mama. Remember in their big fight, Nora got angry because they never got to like spend time together specifically. Lori always got to sleep with the mom and cuddle and talk and hug and just, be best friends. Well, now Nora can do that. See, they are moving forward. They're all very dynamic characters. Although I guess the only character in this whole play who's not dynamic, which means they changed, I guess would be Eugene is a static character. He definitely hasn't changed. Mom, I guess, hasn't changed. Kate hasn't changed. But everyone else seems to be changing a lot. They're maturing. They're growing up. Even the dad has changed. I guess the dad is pretty much the same still. He's pretty static. Let's continue. The little ones can stay with Nora. Nora can sleep with me, can't you, dear? Nora, pleased. Of course, Mama. Stanley, don't worry about money, Pa. I'm going to hit Mr. Stroheim for that raise. They got out. That's all that's important. They got out. Jack sits down at the table to reread the letter. Nora, Stanley, and Lori look over his shoulder. Blanche and Kate set the table. Kate yells up, Eugene, we're all waiting for you. Eugene calls down, be right there. I just have to write down something. He looks at the photo again, then picks up his fountain pen and his memoir book and reads as he begins to write. Okay, now he's not really talking to the audience. He's just reading out loud, but this is still a soliloquy because there's no character on stage and we're hearing everything that he's saying. Remember, if there was somebody else on stage with him, it would be an aside. But let's hear what he says. October the 2nd, 6:25 p.m., a momentous moment in the life of Eugene Morris Jerome. I have seen the golden palace of the Himalayas. Puberty is over. Onwards and upwards. Curtain. And that is the end of our play, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you answer all your questions for assignment number 10. And thank you so much.